So music production has never really been an active craft, but with everything being so digitized lately, it has only become more sedentary for people, and that has led to a lot of problems, namely the fact that more and more people are suffering with poor posture. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that while bad posture, it's not just something that looks bad, it can affect the way that you feel, it can cause pain, and it can affect your confidence. And ultimately, you want to be able to have the creativity and productivity to make the tracks that you want to make. And so when thinking about how you deal with this, there's certainly a lot of resources online on how to get rid of posture. There's tons of exercises, but I think one of the biggest things that people tend to neglect is that posture is something that you carry with you throughout your day. So while you can work on some exercises once a day and that can help, it's not going to be the be-all end-all, because ultimately you need to hone in on when you are out of bad posture or when you're out of good posture, so that you can pull yourself back into good posture and ultimately help with getting out of pain if that's something that you happen to be in. So with that being said, I think one of the biggest ways that you can start to reverse bad posture and get out of it is to set a timer. That timer needs to go off every 30 minutes. And so once you set that, after 30 minutes, all you do is just sort of assess and ask yourself, am I in good posture? Because I think a lot of people know what good posture is, and if you don't, it's the simple way to think about it is just sitting up tall with your shoulders back and your chin not, protruding forward or anything like that. If you can sort of maintain that, and obviously you're going to go in and out of it throughout the day, and that's fine, but that timer that goes off every 30 minutes is your check to say, hey, am I slouching too much? Because that ultimately is what's going to lead to you getting pain. Now, if you find that over a series of days or weeks that every time you check that timer, you're always in bad posture, then it may be time to reassess and look at your desk scenario. So how is everything arranged? One of the things that people tend to have happen is they work on laptops literally on their lap so that their neck is all craned forward. So the main rule of thumb with this, you can certainly go way in depth in this, but I think one of the big things to keep in mind is just you want your feet flat on the ground, your monitor roughly at eye level, and your elbows at your side. And if you can do that, then honestly, the rest, I'd say those are the biggest three things, and the rest of it, you don't really have to worry about that much. So just focus on those. I find that people do get that wrong, and it can be difficult with a laptop getting the right height and whatnot, just because the monitor is obviously attached to the keyboard. But if you can at least find a middle ground to where you're not looking so far down, then it can be really helpful for you to be able to get out of bad posture. And then the third thing that it can be really helpful is you already have that timer set, or at least you should. By the time this video ends, you should start to incorporate that. But let's say it's not enough for you just to tell yourself to get out of bad posture. Sometimes you just need a little bit more. And so I find that one of the best ways to just reverse bad posture is to just lean back against your chair. So just clasp your hands around the back of your head and just lean back against a chair. And what that will do is just arch your back behind the chair, and that will allow you to reverse that forward posture that can happen with working at a computer for a long period of time. And then alongside that, just take a walk. So get up, walk around the room, your studio, wherever you happen to be making music, just get up and walk around. And I get this issue from people that don't want to take that advice because it takes them out of their creative space. But I think what's important to know is that the human brain can only be like solely focused on one thing for a pretty limited amount of time before it starts getting distracted. And I was trying to look up actual numbers for this, and it ranges a little bit. Some people say 30 minutes, some people say about an hour. But either way, if you try to focus on something for more than an hour, your mind is going to naturally drift anyway. So you might as well just stand up and walk around a little bit, do a bit of a refresh so that you can be more focused when you get back into it. So not only are you helping to improve your posture, but you're actually helping to stay focused on the task at hand so that you can make more tracks and do what you love to do. And I think if you do all these things, then it can go a long way with helping your posture. Like I said, you don't have to be a victim to it. I think a lot of people have this mindset that their posture is set in stone and that they can't get better posture and they can't reverse it, and it's just not true. You absolutely can. And just doing these things that I talked about, so setting a timer, making sure your desk setup is okay, and occasionally just stretching back behind your chair and walking around can go a long way to helping. You don't need a real fancy routine that has 15 to 20 different exercises to get the result. You can get a lot of it done with a pretty limited amount of time commitment required. It just takes a little bit of commitment to do the timer, because not everyone wants a timer going off every 30 minutes, but even an hour. The important thing is to try to find some compromises or some middle ground, so something where you can find it to be doable and find the success that you need. So I'm curious, put in the comments below, which of these sort of tactics do you see yourself implementing? And which one do you think you'll implement first? Maybe it's the desk setup, maybe it's the walking around every hour, or just setting the timer every 30 minutes. I'd like to know what you think is the most doable for you. All right, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and found some use from it. If you did, definitely hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.